Hello, welcome to another Open Geospatial tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a spinning globe like this without writing any lines of code. You can also overlay any data layer that you want on top of the globe, something like this. Very simple. You can use it just using a web browser, or you can also use that in a Jupyter Notebook environment. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to exit the full screen mode. I'm going to show you how to get it. So if you go to the website ts.animate.tv, the link is also in the video description below. Once you are on the home page, you can click live examples, and it's going to show you a lot of data layers that support it. Basically, you can use the Python package, or you can use just the web browser using TypeScript. So you can click any example. I'm going to click this control grid. Once you click this one, it's going to open the globe like this. So here we have two data layers. If you click upper right corner, the layer control, you can turn the layer on and off. So for example, this is the background and just the simple base map. If you don't need it, you can turn this one off. And then I'm just going to turn on these two data layers. The first one is the USGS imagery base map. And the second one is the ESA global lane cover. So you will see here. And this is just the two data layers. After that, you can click the toolbar icon here, and then click this icon, the kind of the spinning, so spin globe. Just click that. It's gonna pop up another dialog asking you to change the speed. So if you want, you can just click the start button, then it will start spinning. When it's spinning, you can change the speed, so you can make it faster if you want to. So click the one in the center here. It's going to move a little bit faster, or you can move to 60, for example, 60 degrees per second. It's going to move a lot faster. So somewhere in the middle, for example, 30 something, it should be good. And this is it, very simple. But how do you actually add additional data layer? And here we have a lot of icons that allows you to add other data layers. So one thing I think you can try is, for example, I can click this tile layer. So here you can actually add any XYZ or WMS tile layers, and you can select this WMS. So for this one, it's using the but default one is using the terrascope. So this is kind of in Belgium with some of the data layer, for example, the ESA global lane cover. So you can scroll down here and you can see some of this data layer. So it's pretty cool, but you can use any XYZ or WMS web services. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to show you this one, the global lane cover. So I'm going to use this FCC first color composite. Just select that and then click add data layer. You can see now we have this first color composite using Sentinel-2 for 2021. It's pretty high resolution, 10-meter resolution. And besides that, you can add other data layers. So similarly, like I can add this lane cover, just like what you saw earlier. So I can add this one and then add another data layer. So now you have this data layer, pretty cool. After that, just click this button, the second button, and you can start doing the spinning. But if you want, you can also change different angle. So here, for example, you can move up a little bit and then zoom out a little bit. So you can basically find the best angle for your data layer. And then all you need to do is just click the start button. You will start doing the spinning. So very simple and easy to use. And it's not just for raster data. You can also render vector data as well. You can also render some animated data layer. So here, maybe I'll show you another example. How about we add some vector data? Click this button here, this kind of the point line polygon icon. So add vector data, and not this one, maybe the Basemaps. So click this one, the button next to it, and from here you can paste any vector data. So in this case, I can just paste the Parquet file, the file using the this is the hexagon H3 global lane cover, global building density, right? So you can just click this load data. You can point it to any GeoParquet file, but right now this one is pulling all the data, so you don't want to have the data like really big. And for this relatively small data set, it's going to load the data, and it's going to ask you which column do you want to use for classification, because when you are creating a cross place map, you need to have like classification scheme for the column. In this case, we're going to use the building count because each hexagon represent how many buildings within that hexagon. And you can have the different classification scheme. Usually the quantile is a pretty good default one because you're going to have 5 categories, and each category is going to have the same amount of numbers, same amount of items within that category. So quantile, and then you can choose the color. So here I can use any of those. For example, I can use the Inferno color map, and then that's pretty much it. So here you can customize some color. For example, whether do you want to show the outline or not. Maybe I don't want the outline, you can uncheck it. And also, do you want to make it pickable or not, or you want to add the data layer. And that's it. Just click add cross placement and take a look. Now we have this globe with the population. And you might want to turn off other data layers because for example, just the map and this hexagon. So, or if you want, you can add other data layer as well. So in this case, usually you want to have a black background, so we can change it to something like this. Let me close this one. We can change the base map. So just click this base map icon, and then for example, I just want the dark matter background. I can just click this one, and then it's going to show you just the dark globe, but it covers our data layer. So what you want is to move this one up. Okay, so I can move this one maybe somewhere to here, to the base map, and then I can turn off the USGS imagery base map. So in this case, now I have this nice globe with the color. And one thing you might want to add is also maybe add a legend. So here, if I go back to this one again, scroll down, you will have this one, the building count, right? So you can click this button, add to map. Once you click in the lower left corner, it should show you the legend here, right? So somewhere in here. So this shows you basically the color, and with that you can start doing the spinning. So again, click this one and then start doing the spinning. Right? How cool it is. So you can basically add any vector data, raster data layer, whatever you want, and then create this spinning globe. Because you might have seen this one on social media, and you might be wondering like how to actually create this. It's actually pretty simple and no coding in this case here. Just add whatever data layer you want, and then just click one button, and then you can change the speed, for example. And it's not just for 2D, you can actually add 3D as well. So if I go back to the cross place map button here, they may remove this button. So in this case, there's another checkbox, right? 3D extrusion. So if you click this one and then scroll down here, click the add cross place map again. Now it's going to actually have the 3D. So take a look at this, pretty cool, right? And you can zoom in, you can zoom out. Right now, there's some artifacts in here. When you are moving the globe, you might see some of those. This is just kind of a no limitation of the map Libre 3D rendering on top of the base map, but it works just fine. So you can see like the represent the basically the building density. And again, just click, you can start doing the spinning. Super nice. So this is how you use that in the web browser without doing any coding. But if you want to use that in a Jupyter Notebook environment, you can do that as well. So I'm going to go back to the home page here, and then you can scroll down here to find the map Libre. Similarly, there's a control grid example. So click this control grid, and then it's going to open the page. You can either install the package on a computer or just use the notebook link. So I recommend just open this one. Then you don't need to install anything on a computer. It's running just within your browser. So it's going to basically create a virtual environment. Then it's going to install all the packages. So in this case, it's just the Animap TS package. So it's very lightweight. There's not a lot of heavy dependencies. So once it is open here, you can, on the left side, just click this control grid example, double click, and then that's it. So you can start running the code without having to actually install anything. Press shift control. You see here, we don't even need to install this one because I already have the virtual environment set up. And then just run this code block. So create the map, add the control grid, and then display the map. That's it. So now we have this map, and the same thing, right? If you look at here, all these buttons that I showed you earlier is all available. So you can just start adding data layer. So I'm gonna go to this one again, adding the base map. So select the WMS base map, and then you can adding any data layer you want. I'm going to add the same data layer, the force color composite, and then add layer. And after that, I add another one, the lane cover, and then that's it. So with that, we can start. We can click this button here to enable the globe button, and then just click this spinning, and then you can start doing the spinning. So it's the same process, but it's in a Jupyter Notebook environment. Very, very cool. And another data layer, the tool you might want to use. So let me actually full screen a little bit. Is that allows you to create a swipe map. So there's a button that I recently added. So if you activate this one, and then you can start selecting the data layer that you want to compare side by side. The first one, I want to have the force color composite, the satellite imagery Sentinel-2 on the left. We are going to have the lane cover data on the right. After that, click this activate button. And now you have this swipe tool that allows you to compare data layers. So how cool it is. Without having to write any line of code, and then you can zoom in to any location that you like. Then just use this swipe tool to start doing the swipe, right? And you can do it for any data layer if you want. So all the tools in here are freely available. It's available as on the website, or it's also available in the Jupyter Notebook environment. And feel free to try them out. You don't need to install anything on your computer. All you need is just a web browser with internet access. That's it. So hope you find it useful, and feel free to try it out. If you have any questions, submit any issues on the GitHub repository. Happy to help you out. Okay, that's a very short tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.